This is the second part of a tutorial where I show you how to make this car. In this part I'll show you how to add colour and add the wheels. First of all, I'm going to open the file from the previous tutorial. I'm going to click the apply button to apply the subdivision surface modifier. I'm going to click the material button and I'm going to name the material car. I'm going to change the diffuse colour to red. I'm going to go into edit mode and change the view from perspective to orthogonal and the view to the front view. I'm going to zoom in with the mouse wheel. I'm going to go into face select mode and select a face. I'm going to press B on the keyboard for B select and drag out an area to select. I'm going to hold down shift to add to the selection. I'm going to click the add a new material slot button and I'm going to click the add new material button. I'm going to call the new material glass and I'm going to change the diffuse colour to a light blue, and then I'm going to click the assign button to assign the material to the selected faces. Drag with the middle mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to select a face and I'm going to press B on the keyboard for B select and select a range of faces. I'm going to press C on the keyboard for C select, and this gives me a brush which I can use to select faces. Use the mouse wheel to adjust the size of the brush. Press escape to get out of C select, hold down shift to add to the selection, select the glass material and click the assign button to assign it to the selected faces. Dragging with the middle mouse button, the procedure for the rear windscreen is exactly the same, so I've already done it. And I've also done the other side window. I'm going to go into object mode and I'm going to add mesh cylinder to make the wheel. I'm going to toggle into quad view and I'm going to press S to scale, and I've experimented with this. I'm going to enter the value 0.31 and enter. I'm going to press G to grab in the right view and move that into the wheel arch. In the front view I'm going to press R to rotate and 90 and enter. I'm going to go in the properties window, the properties of the cylinder, and I'm going to set the scale for the thickness of the wheel to be 0.13, and in the front view I'm pressing G to grab to move that over. Now I'm going to round these values off. This I'm going to put to be 0.95 and this value to minus 0.2. I'm going to change the name of the object to wheel, and I'm going to click the material button, add a new material and call the new material wheel, and I'm going to change the diffuse colour to a very dark grey, and I'm going to change shading to smooth. I'm going to press Shift and D and enter to duplicate the wheel. I'm going to pan Shift and middle mouse button, and then I'm going to press G to grab and Y for the Y direction to move the duplicate into the wheel arch. I'm going to go to the properties of the new wheel and just round off the Y location. I'm going to Shift D and enter to make another duplicate, and to put that on the opposite side all I have to do is select the X location and put a minus sign in front, and I'm going to select the original wheel, Shift D and enter to duplicate it, and do the same to put it on the other side. Just put a minus sign in front of the X value. Select the car and I'm going to name it car. Change the view to the bottom view. Zoom back with the mouse wheel and pan Shift middle mouse button. I'm going to fill the gap between the wheels. I'm going to add mesh cube. I'm going to press S to scale and shrink that down 0.5 and enter. G to grab, Y for Y direction, and move that between the wheels. I'll round the Y location to -1.5 and enter. Shrink the cube down so it sits nicely behind the wheel, a value of 0.3. Shift and D and enter to duplicate. G to grab, Y for the Y direction, move the duplicate between the wheels, and I'll round that to 0.9 and enter. Hold down Shift, select the front cube, hold down Shift and select the car, and click Join, and the cubes become part of the car. Select a wheel, hold down Shift and select the other wheels, and finally hold down Shift and select the car. Do Control and P to make the car the parent. In the View menu, I'm going to toggle out of Quad View. In the View menu, I'm going to change orthogonal to perspective, zooming back with the mouse wheel, dragging with the middle mouse button. I'm going to select the car and press G to grab and Y for the Y direction. The car is the parent and the wheels are the children, and the children follow the parent. But if I select the wheel, press R to rotate, Z or Z, I can move or rotate the wheels independently of the car. That's the end of the tutorial. I'll put the finished file at my website www.freemovies.co.uk. Thanks for watching and goodbye.